sources his replacement fenders from Ashwells in Essex, who specialise in reclaimed tropical timbers.
It's got to be Greenheart.
Run by Janine and Deb Tutt, it's one of the few places in Britain that can supply timber matching Southend's original construction.
What about this one up here? We've worked at Southend Council for the last 20 odd years, supplying timber for the foreshore and for various structures that need repairing, jetties and things like that. So what we're looking for today is a 350 square Greenheart timber, so 5.75, that we can trim up for a fender at the end of Southend Pier.
Greenheart timber was harvested in Ghana, where it grows.
Like the one at the back behind?
It was a British colony at the time, so there was easy access to it, and it was innovative to their engineering. Greenheart's brilliant in maritime projects because it is so dense. It has a very slightly oily structure to it, but it's resistant to this marine attack. It's resistant to abrasion.
This is why it's good enough to survive all the weather out in the middle of the Thames estuary. Am I near 7 yet? Yep. 7.1. 7.1. Fab. Okay, I'll mark it here. Because it's tropical, it's grown very slowly and very straight. And so therefore, with the straight grain, it gives it its durability. Let go? Got it, yep. It's so heavy and so dense that a 2-inch by 2-inch section in direct contact with the soil will last for over 25 years. That's without any chemicals.
The reason why we use hardwoods is gribble. Gribble is a small worm which will eat its way into most timbers. That's why we had copper bottom clad boats. Greenheart timbers are very good at resisting gribble and resistant to attack from marine worm.
We've got a few over the back there. We'll just pop round the other side and have a little measure on them. It doesn't get eaten because it's got its own natural defence system in its veins as such, and that keeps the termites away and all the other little critters that might want to eat it. Sea groins. You can see where the boards were attached when it was in the sea. It's part of our colonial heritage. Most of the rivers and the sea defences in the UK are made from this material. Okay. These woods would have been a thick end of 200 years old by the time they actually got here, after being cut down and sailed across.
Deb and Jen source their Greenheart from sites that are being modernised all over England.
This material here is from the Woolwich Ferry, so hopefully we'll give them a second use and a second home, or even a third home, because that's happened before now. This big old lump here has gone on a long journey to get to these shores, and it's supported our infrastructure all these years. And yes, okay, so it's had to be pulled out maybe for steel to go in, but it's worth, its legacy should go on, and it will go on because it's so durable, it's not going to go anywhere.
After selecting the right wood, next it will be shaped into the correct size.
He's cutting the Greenheart we've just selected. He uses water to lubricate the timber because it's very hard and very dense and very dry, so it needs that water lubrication to keep the blade cool. The blade itself is only 5 teeth, which is quite unusual. It's an Australian mill we had to import because it's the only thing we could find that would actually cut this dense timber. Lovely, so we're going to do another skim, yeah? We have metal detectors, and as long as it's clean, we can then cut it. Often as not, we know exactly where any metal is, where the timber's been used. If it's been used as a groin timber, it'll have lots of little metal screws that have kept the groin boards onto the pile. So we need to check all that before it even gets near this machine. And then we'll check the lengths, make sure she's bang on what they need, and we'll get it shipped over to Gary down at the pier at Southend.